All right. Hi, everybody. I have Maren here, and I have known Maren since I was 17. She threw me my 18th birthday party. I have a picture of that. We were in college together, and we were thrown together as roommates in our freshman year. And so I am, and I can tell you, nobody was more surprised than me when I found out she just popped into my world in the healthcare space, and we had been keeping up with each other um, for a bit, but she has a great story, and I'm super excited for her to share it with you for a number of reasons. But I will let her do that. I won't put any words in her mouth. But she came back. I was so shocked when you registered for the master class back in October, and
Yeah.
and I was like, and this is the weird thing that goes in my head. I'm like, why is she interested in this? Because it doesn't seem like she would, um, need it, but that just goes to show that we just don't know what's going on inside of everybody. We just have no idea. And it turns out that we are a really great fit. So, tell me a little bit about, and tell everybody, because you're here to share your story. Tell
Yeah.
everybody about what brought you into that masterclass and what kinds of things were you doing and what were your goals?
Well, it actually surprised me that I needed the master class too. I'd been following your page and getting a lot of good information, and I entered the master class because I just wanted to support you and your business and see what it was all about. And I was mostly just curious. But I'd been getting such good information from your page, from just lurking, that I realized I didn't know everything I thought I knew. I'm pretty healthy. I eat very, very well. And I'm extremely active. Probably, I think you'd say overactive. Um,
Maybe I might. I don't know.
you would. Um, but yeah, and so when I entered the master class, it was mostly out of curiosity, and then it touched a nerve. And I realized that, it's not just about diet and exercise, and my sleep was all wonky, and my stress was uh way, way, way out of control. So those two elements I needed to get back in line, and that in turn helped my nutrition. I started to see how everything kind of worked together, and one thing influenced the other. And so that's kind of how I started. And then we did the coaching session to get me ready for my first full marathon. And that's when I really realized how much I needed you, because I realized how underweight I was, and how that was contributing to my neck pain, which, yay, I am much, much better. I barely
I
have
I
any
haven't
neck.
even had a chance to ask you about that. I'm
I
so
know.
excited about that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
everybody. You're
So
seeing me react for the first time. This was a big deal. Oh,
it
wow.
was a big deal because my sister has had two vertebrae and three discs removed from her neck and had to have her neck rebuilt. So that's where I thought I was heading. And that is where I was heading. And the fact that I've been running and running these distances with no neck pain is just outstanding. I never expected that. So,
Wow.
and that is getting my nutrition and feeding my cells, and understanding how my body's asking for things and that I need to feed it.
I know it's tough when, you know, um, you've had this one idea your whole entire life about weight and diet, and if you've struggled
Mhm.
with it on and off, as I did, and then it's funny because we get to a certain point and we don't turn that off. We don't,
Right.
right? And so you were actually going through a lot of perimenopausal symptoms. You were having
Yes.
serious night sweats. I remember you telling me that it was like you were literally soaking the bed every single night and you just couldn't sleep. And we went through
Yeah.
so many different things in our intensive because
Yes.
we did a 1 month intensive just to get you ready for that marathon, which you crushed. You absolutely crushed it. Like, and I remember just as we were going through, you would report in and you would say things like, I just ran up the hill. I ran up my training hill without
Oh
like,
yes.
and God bless you because I am not about to run a marathon. So that's just not my thing. I've run, 5 miles.
Yeah.
That's about
Hey, that's
farthest
the
I get.
start.
But I'm fine with that. I'm fine with
Yeah.
5K, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so what else have you, so this was before, so your marathon was in February and you continued
Mhm.
on with things and you're sticking around a bit in the group. And
Mhm.
um, so tell me what has stuck with you? What were the most important things for you and what has stuck with you? And and insofar as also the way we work together, how did all that work to stick with you and help you, and where are you now?
Um, well, I think for the nutrition parts, like I said, I had assumed I was eating healthy and doing all the right things, but in my mindset and from my upbringing, I focused way too much on the numbers on the scale and the calories. I use my Fitness Pal and I still enter my food into my Fitness Pal, but instead of dwelling on the number of calories I'm getting per day, I'm switching over and looking at the macros and looking at the balance instead of those, energy numbers. I'm looking at the nutrient numbers, and so that shift has occurred. And
It has
I'm not
happened.
fat phobic anymore.
Yeah,
So my fat
and how
phobia
and yeah,
role.
not being fat phobic. I mean, we need fat for so many things, our eyes, our
Mhm.
brain, our skin. So you had mentioned something to me about your vision recently.
Yes, yeah. So I think about 3 or 4 years ago, my eyesight has been not great. I've always had perfect vision, and I started having to use readers. And I thought, oh, that's just age. And my eyes, I'd look at pictures and my eyes didn't have that twinkle, didn't have that sparkle in them. And that is actually one of the things that brought me to you. Is I saw your pictures and I was like, God, her face just glows and her eyes just sparkle. And I want that in my life. I want to look
I
that healthy and happy.
want to
Your
sparkle.
eyes sparkle. They do. Um, so I noticed maybe 2 months ago, I was like, oh wow, my skin's cleared up and my eyes have that little twinkle on occasion, and my eyesight's gotten better. So it's actually improved. Instead of needing stronger readers, I'm actually plateauing. So we'll
Oh,
see what
wow.
my eye doctor says at our next appointment. But yeah, I feel like my vision's better, my brain's working better. Um, you know, I'm less foggy and and
How,
frazzled.
how are those night sweats?
I am still getting an occasional night sweat, but at least now I know why.
Hmm.
So when I have too many carbs or I have some dessert at night, I know, okay, I'm going to have a little bit of night sweat, but it's nothing. I have not had to get up and change my clothes and change my bed sheets at 3 a.m. since I started working with you.
That's awesome. And as we learned in the master class, because that's going on this week, and as you've learned in the past, that sleep's super important to our metabolic health
Yes.
and and for our brain health and for our, and one of the things that you had been concerned about was cravings. And then when we sat down and
Mhm.
talked, I was like, oh my gosh, well, I know why you're craving things. Your body isn't getting enough food, right?
Mhm.
We just have this idea of what we need, but you're so active that you need more gas than you're
Yeah.
not a little Yugo driving around. You're like a sport car. You need more fuel. Okay.
Yes.
Right? We
Yes.
need to support that. Yeah. So, I mean, it just goes to show that you know, the conventional wisdom, what they're saying out there, everything we think we know. We just think we know. I was there. I was telling my story a little bit yesterday. I'll tell it more. And it's in the day 2 of the master class, which is at the time of this recording happening tonight. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to post this for everybody to share with them, but I tell more of my story. And I did. I thought I was doing all the things, and it was
Yeah.
terrible. It was terrible. And I think my family might have hated me for a little while. So
Oh, Brad
um,
mentioned this morning that I have become much more patient.
oh, see, it's amazing. We just
So
don't
he
think
thanks you
of all the
too.
things that are symptoms. Yeah, so we don't connect all of the things that are symptomatic of our body being out of balance. And it's absolutely mind-blowing and astounding to me every single day. Even though I'm in this world, I'm reading studies, I'm doing this stuff all the time, and it's just so amazing to be able to talk to you and others and say, all these things that people thought were completely unrelated, and they go get treatment for this and they go get treatment for that and they go
Yeah.
get treatment for this and they go get treatment for that. I mean, your neck and your eyes and all this, nothing related. You would go to different doctors and they would have no idea that in the end, all you needed to do was was shift a little bit, how you eat, support your sleep better, and really put into place some stress
Mhm.
management tools and coping mechanisms for yourself. And in fact, that became easier when your brain started getting more support as well.
Yes. Yep. Yep. It's
Yeah,
holistic medicine, not piecemeal medicine.
right. We're so complex, and we're so
Yeah.
everything is intertwined, and we're in a bad habit in society, I think, of just looking at a symptom.
Hmm.
The check engine light comes on, you run a diagnostic, and or and then you just clear the thing instead of fixing it, right?
Yeah.
We just clear the code. Yeah, just clear the code. We'll just take care of that one little thing. Not forget
Put a
about,
sticker over that check engine light.
yeah, you know what? I fixed it. Black duct tape, who knew? You know?
Can't see it.
So, I guess in the end, if you wanted to just give a word of encouragement to those who um, might be in a similar situation to you, or anything, what might you say to somebody if they were struggling with their health and having to make a decision?
Well, I'd say if you're on the fence, jump in. You won't regret it. And mostly, I think the hesitation for a lot of people is they think it's just going to be this whole big, overwhelming life change. And it really is, I mean, it is overwhelming. I'm not going to lie. The amount of information that you get in one of your sessions is overwhelming. But the more you listen and the more you just chip away at it, and the way you set up the goals and taking it one bite at a time, it really is manageable, and you make it as easy as it can possibly be. Change is never easy, but you
Mhm.
do make it as easy as it possibly can be. And then when you start to feel the results, you don't want to go back.
That's awesome. And it's true. You don't want to go back. And it just for everybody listening, you did something I don't do for a lot of people because it is a little tougher. You did the 1 month intensive, which
Yeah.
the word intensive, but we still, even in that time, set you up to do very small things. And
Mhm.
you did them, and you committed to it, and you had a very concrete goal coming up, and there was a lot of stuff going on at that time of the year for you. And so I just, um, when you do a longer term with me, we get to trickle out a little bit more. But
Yeah.
even with the intensive, it was still doable, and it just massive, you know, massive quality of life upgrades for you. So I'm so excited, and
Yes.
I'm so happy
Yeah.
that you got to share with me today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved the progression from the master class to the intensive to keys. I think doing
You
the
did
keys,
keys to energetic health too. Yeah.
yeah, that really, the repetition. I'm getting nudged by a corgi. Sorry. Here,
Hi.
you're famous, Stuart. But doing the keys helped kind of solidify a lot of the information that I was getting from the master class and from the intensive. That's where I started to have those aha moments, like, okay, that's how it pieces together. Especially when you break down the systems of the digestive system and the hormonal system and all of that. I went, oh, okay.
Awesome.
Just the repetition really, really helps. So keep
Awesome.
coming back.
Keep coming back. All right. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much, Maren. And I know you're on duty, you're on doggy duty right now. You're
I
working. I'm
am.
gonna let you get back to work and play with the pups. And I will see you around.
Okay, take
All
care.
right. Take care.